On alive. It's been a lot been going on. I've gone through a couple moves and enjoying some fun health issues and getting those addressed and working through them. Fatigue is real, and chronic fatigue is definitely a very real thing. But I'm grateful to be back, and I'm going to try to get back on the horse of posting a little bit more often. But I want to talk today about something really important. And that is that we can use counter control to help make the world better. Right now, I'm seeing a lot of patterns coming together. And one of those patterns that I'm seeing pretty consistently is that there are certain groups of people who are pushing for division, who are pushing for dividing us and making us hurt each other. And counter control is a well-documented phenomena where when a environment is highly restrictive, especially when the rules govern behavior do not match up with the needs of the individuals within the environment, there will be pushback and there will be counter control. So you say left, I go right, right? We see that a lot with children in classrooms where the teachers are very restrictive, or with parents where the parents are very restrictive. And it's a very observed, well observed phenomena. Well, I'm going to throw out this idea that counter control isn't bad and it isn't good. It's an indication that the environment is too restrictive and that needs are not being met. In fact, that's not a novel concept. That is actually what Skinner himself said. My variation on what he said, but there was a really amazing interview where he talked about counter control and how counter control, or the rebel, is a consequence of the environment and the culture and the people within the environment being a pushback. That rebel is pushing back against that restrictive environment. And so my observation comes from another creator that I observed talking about how we aren't doing what is expected. There's a lot of people who were expecting, with the SNAP benefits being cut off, that there would be riots. I'm not saying that that won't happen. I hope that it doesn't happen. But what I am saying is that I have seen this in my community, both my online community of friends and people who are connected together, supporting and helping each other. And I have also seen it in my immediate community where, despite the noxious engagement that I'm seeing a lot of people engaging in, where they're being mean or cruel to each other, where they're worried more about the person's previous decisions than their current state of being, and where they're being hurtful and hateful, that despite those few people engaging in that way on both sides, I'm not saying it's a one-sided thing, although I definitely am seeing one group doing it more than others, but that I'm seeing that for the most part, people are coming together and they're helping each other. And that's a form of counter control, because what I'm seeing is a push to divide, a push to separate, and instead we can come together. So if you're feeling uncertain, if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling stuck or you're struggling, what I'm going to recommend is that you reach out to your local community. You find a mutual aid group on social media, right? There's Reddit, there's Facebook, there's a bunch of other social media groups where people can come together and collaborate. Reach out to your local food bank and see if you can volunteer. If you can't afford to volunteer with work, you can volunteer through organizing and efforts like that. If you're in need, reach out to your group and do those sorts of things. Right now, I'm a part of a group of people who are working together to do some meal prepping, where we're already meal prepping for ourselves, and we're working on identifying additional people who are disabled, who have limited incomes, who are working nonstop and they're already on SNAP and that's not going to be available, or have other health issues or things that are preventing them from being able to get their needs met. And we as a group are identifying, what sort of food barriers they have and what sort of like limitations we have to work on. And we're in the early stages of this process, but we're working on coming together and meal prep and deliver those meals to families in need while we're making food for ourselves to reduce the strain and the pressure on ourselves. And so I don't want credit for this idea. It's not even my idea. I just want people to be able to do this, to come together, to humanize each other, to help each other, to band together to make a difference, because that is the counter control we need. We don't need the counter control of hate and hurting. We need the counter control of cooperation and collaboration, of supporting our neighbors and seeing each other. You know what? We're all stuck in different stories. We're all fused with ideas where we believe that this is the way a certain thing is. And I am no exception to that, right? We all have those stories. But you know what's a story that's really universal? Being human and being hungry, of needing help, of needing a community, of needing connection. There were times when I was the most disconnected, when other people giving me that kindness and pulling me in made all the difference. That's the counter control we need. The counter control of, instead of dividing when they tell us to divide, to come together and to help each other. Cooperation. So my invitation to you, whether you see the recording of this or whether you are here on the live right now, is to help in any way you can. If that helping is sending some money to Feed America, which I have here as a fundraiser, so that way you can take action, even if it's $1, it's $1 more than would have otherwise been done. But more importantly, if you can help somebody else out by getting them a little food, please take the idea of meal prepping. Like, add to your meal prep, reach out to your community and whatever community little groups you are. We have tons of them. They're all over the place. If you just go to your community and you look up your area and you see those little community groups, you can post and say, hey, I'm doing some meal prepping and these are some foods that I'm putting together. If you have any dietary restrictions, please let me know. Or, this is the ingredients that are going to be in there, so that way and you don't have to worry about potentially being exposed to something that could be harmful to you. And work together with your neighbors. Come together to make a difference. Counter control to division is cooperation. So with that, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Look for opportunities to take action and to help others in your community, here and now. That's one of the ways that we can counteract the fatigue and the exhaustion, the feelings of helplessness, by loving our neighbors and helping each other. And if you can't take action by making food for others, you can take action by helping and organizing. If you can't take action with helping and organizing, you can take action by helping identify other people. There are different steps that you can take. It doesn't matter what your ability level is. What matters is that you can be a part of a community. And we can give back and help each other. So with that, you all have a wonderful day. And I'm grateful for this community.